we are going to talk about the next generation blockchain platform, Seele, in Chinese, 元一. And today we are very happy to invite Dr. Bi Wei and Wensi to join this interview. So before the interview gets started, I would like to say congratulations for Seele's team, because I know yesterday the ICO finished within a few hours. That's a really huge milestone and big success for Seele's project. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's get started. So first, could you please give us a brief introduction about yourself?
Yes, of course. I will start. My name is Wei Bi, Dr. Wei Bi, and I'm the chief scientist of the Seele team. I'm in charge of, the design of Seele, the algorithm, this kind of stuff. And I have a PhD in vision science and a master's degree in computing from Oxford. Many people, kind of ask me, you are doing vision science, why do you, do blockchain now? This is a good question, but all I want to say is that in vision science, I did a lot of computing work in my study. Probably we don't have time to explain what I did in my PhD, but I definitely have the computing background, and the blockchain is something I pick up reasonably fast. So this is me. Wensi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Wensi Liu, and currently I'm focused on the neural consensus algorithm and the fundamental blockchain network. And then before joining the Seele team, I worked at Microsoft China for more than 5 years, involved in some AI and big data projects.
Could you please give us a brief introduction about Seele for people that don't have much knowledge on what this project is about?
Okay, I probably will say it a little bit. Wensi can. I mean, Seele has, everybody I think has different understanding about Seele, but to me, Seele is really a technology ecosystem. Seele includes a public blockchain. This is probably everybody knows Seele is doing a public blockchain. But Seele not only includes a public blockchain, but also includes all the technology needed from the lower network layer protocols all the way up to the application layers, like data exchange, computing power exchange we proposed in our white paper, and like the smart contract designing tools and IDEs for users and developers and businesses. But our slogan is that Seele innovates the new era of the value internet.
Okay, kind of so we designed the Seele project. We just want to have some new highlights, such as increase the TPS and increase the blockchain scalability. So we just redesign the fundamental lower network communication protocol. So, such as we introduce the sort from the TCP/IP and some traditional internet protocol stack, and we just design the fundamental network protocol for the blockchain networks. And then we have designed a new type of neural consensus algorithm to speed up the transaction confirmation and then to increase the total TPS.
Yeah, so like you said, you guys invented a new consensus algorithm called neural consensus algorithms. So could you please elaborate more on this algorithm? So what's the advantages over the other consensus algorithms like proof of work and proof of stake? Yeah.
Yeah, firstly, I just want to point out that, like POW, POS, PBFT, like the newly invented hash graph, these kind of, algorithm, consensus algorithm, they all have their own advantages and they have their disadvantages.
Yeah.
I mean, they exist there, like the POW exists there for a really long time. They have a reason to be there. And we don't want to say that we are definitely much better than them. In fact, no consensus algorithm, is perfect, right? But what we are focusing on for the neural consensus algorithm is about, Wensi mentioned, is about, scalability, performance, security, these kind of issues. And we want to invent this new consensus algorithm to support large scale of networks, a lot of nodes, right? Because we know POW consumes lots of electricity. POS depend on, how rich you are, and PBFT, always have a problem about the bandwidth, have a bottleneck about network traffic. So our aim is to develop the consensus algorithm to consume relatively low power, and support large number of nodes, and also work with our heterogeneous forest network, which is network structure that we propose. Because the future, will be, the Internet of Things. In the car, you probably have something you want to participate in the consensus protocol, right? And your phone, you want to join the consensus. So a lot of devices will be connected to the internet, right? So all of them can have an option to do the consensus. So the neural consensus we propose is really a group of consensus protocol, a group including the traditional POW, POS, these kind of traditional protocols, and also our EDA consensus protocol. And the idea is that what I didn't say earlier in the first question, users in Zilla have an option to choose any consensus and have an option to choose any kind of technology they want. Of course, the neural consensus, a lot of people ask me that is it the neural network in deep learning in AI? Firstly, it is not the neural network in AI, but we are actually researching it. It's a very interesting topic, right? But the neural consensus, we got the neural consensus. We were actually inspired by how the brain works. I actually explained this in a lot of AMA already. We have millions of neurons in our eye and in our brain. For example, I'm looking at our video stream now. I'm looking at the picture. The video stream is much more complicated. But just in a blink of second, all the neurons in my brain, reach the consensus. I have a reaction. I'm raising my hands now. Just in a blink of second, these millions and millions of neurons reach a consensus.
Yeah.
So, it's a very complicated process, when the image actually projected to the back of the retina through the pupil, and then, the cones convert these signals into electric chemical signal and transfer to the ganglion cells. The ganglion cells transfer them to the back of the brain, to the cortical area, and to V1, V2, V3, V4, these cortical areas. We have a lot of neurons, but how do they reach consensus? We got inspired by this because we think the neurons in the brain are actually extremely ordered, and they have different roles. This is actually because years of evolution, biological evolution. So that's why we got the idea of the EDA. We think in our network, right, the nodes can have different kind of roles. Like our society, you look different and I look different. Everybody has their own personality, and we don't want to do anything together. We can participate in a consensus, but not everybody wants to participate in the consensus. This is exactly true in our network. For example, in the US, if they do election for the president, maybe because you are Singapore, we are Chinese, we don't want to participate in their elections, right? So we can have different roles. So you have to have a mechanism to. So the idea we want to do is we want to do a mechanism that you can randomly select the delegates and to reduce the number of the consensus nodes, because you have a large number of nodes, right? So in EDA we actually convert the definite yes and no voting part to a probability. For people who learn risk management, that you actually don't really need 100%, to, for example, we do our mobile banking, right, on the phone. the phone is relatively, to me, seems to be relatively less, safe than the computer. But with the computer, you always use a hardware when you do online banking. But with the phone, you only tap in your password. That's it. You can do transfer of money. So for people who do risk management, you don't need 100% consensus. So that's one part of the idea we do in EDA, and we also in EDA we convert the voting into a sorting program, and we have parameters there. So once you reach the range of the parameters, you reach the consensus. Then we essentially the EDA algorithm is actually works like a random selection function. So we select a small number of nodes. Then we actually use the classic and well-established PBFT, the BFT method afterwards. Then we actually solved the problem of the scalability, and it works quite well together with our forest network structure. So this is actually, probably I said too much, but this is actually the idea of our neural consensus, the EDA algorithm, which we described in our white paper.
Yeah, that's explained a lot. So basically, one of the focus of this algorithm is scalability, right? So with your ambitious throughput, which is 1 million per second, right? This is what you guys want to achieve. 1 million per second. Yeah.
The million level TPS is really just an estimate. It's really dependent on what I haven't said is about the Seele really aims to solve complicated industrial applications. In industrial applications, you normally have a lot of. Sorry, did I interrupt you about your question? Just in industrial applications, you always have a lot of different business logic. So the idea is, you do this kind of business logic, you want to have a better cohesion, like in software engineering, right? When you design a module, you want to have a better cohesion for that module. But between different modules, you want to have less, less coupling effect in software engineering. So to really increase the TPS, essentially you only have two ways to increase the TPS. You either increase the your hardware, in a single node, or you do this parallelly, right? So with our new consensus algorithm and our heterogeneous forest network, we can kind of balance the two things together. So the more number of nodes in our network structure, we will get more TPS in the whole neural network, in the whole network. That's the idea that's one of the idea of Seele.
Yeah, so actually I have a question. So usually in blockchain industry, there is always a dilemma between speed and security. So is there any trade-off between security and speed in Seele?
So we balance it, like I said, we balance it in a different way. So there is a little bit of trade-off, but we kind of think, you do risk management, right? So when we vote for the probability, and we actually kind of, you need to really evaluate the situation of the business you do. For example, in the real business, when I transfer $1 billion to you, we probably need to make this to be very, very secure, right? When we do the consensus, we have to be really, really secure. We probably can use something like multiple party computation, these kinds of new technologies from the crypto world. But if I only transfer $1 to you, probably this transaction can only be happening between us. This transaction can be relatively fast. So really depends on what kind of business logic you do. So with our heterogeneous forest network and the neural consensus algorithm, we're kind of saying that the users can pick the consensus algorithm. They can use EDA or they can use the traditional POW, whichever suitable for their situation, for their own business logic, right? And for their own business or their own company, they can form a small heterogeneous forest network. And with another company, they do things differently. They form another small heterogeneous forest network. When they want to do collaboration, they connect to the Seele heterogeneous forest network. So this is a kind of the idea we are proposing.
So I mean it's actually a case by case usage, right?
It's a case by case usage, and it's totally depend on the scenarios we want to deal with. And we say we develop Seele, right? It's not Vince knows this a lot. We develop Seele, right? It's not we are only thinking about ideas. We want Seele to be really used in the real industrial applications. So we just don't want to invent some new consensus that nobody want to use, but it's really brilliant idea, but no, it's not applicable. We want it to be used in real industrial applications, and in real industrial applications, you have a lot of different situations. You have to deal with these different situations separately.
Yeah. So move to the next question. So definitely Seele is a very, very ambitious project. So it seems there is a long way to go. So what's the current progress for this project?
Okay, let me answer that question.
Yeah, go ahead, Vince.
Okay, currently so we have finished the MVP project, the media verification product, and then we are so update and uploading code every day to our GitHub. Yeah, and then we will release the testnet about Q2, and then the mainnet will be available about Q3. The currently all tasks on track. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And we are follow the roadmap on our webpage. Yeah.
So that's development progress in terms of the technology. So is there any I mean, in other terms like business, is there any progress so far? Have you ever established any partnership?
Yes, we are kind of talking to quite a few different partners and trying to establish collaborations. And we have already established quite a few collaborations in terms of both research and also business. What I can say, because we have for the business collaborations, we signed NDA, so I can't really talk a lot. But what I can say is that we are going to work with researchers from University of Edinburgh. Well, these kind of people already know, right? We are going to work with people from Oxford, people from UCL. These are all about research work, and our website is changing, so we'll publish the details in the form of newsletter on our website about the details of the collaboration. For now, probably it's not a good time to publish them, but we will publish a lot of details. And in terms of other kind of events, we are going to do a few meetups. Firstly, in the U.S., in San Francisco, where our headquarters is, and then probably in London, and a few other meetups probably in Europe. And these will be updated through the community. And in the end of the year, we are hoping to do an annual developer conference as well. For the coding part, like Vince already said, everything is on track. If not earlier, like our main night originally on our roadmap will be published in Q4, but Vince just said Q3 very confidently. So I believe he will lead the team to really publish the main night earlier. That's a good news.
Yeah. So that's about the current progress. My next question is about the team. So as you mentioned just now, you guys already published a new website, but in your new website there's no section talking about the team. So it's undeniable that you have a very strong team. You guys all have very strong background in engineering and scientists. But some people actually want to actually doubts that you guys don't have much experience in blockchain industry. So will this be a issue when you guys tackle the challenge in building blockchain 4.0?
No, absolutely not. We actually think it is an advantage. Blockchain is relatively new technology. People started to really research blockchain since a few years ago, and blockchain itself, it contains various technologies. Cryptography, distributed networks, these kind of various networks. And in our team, we have lots of people with various backgrounds. We have mathematicians, cryptography experts, network experts, big data scientists, big data experts, computing scientists, of course, and even like me, vision scientists, and also with computing knowledge. And we even have doctors. I think it's an absolute advantage of us. We have all these kind of technicians and researchers from different areas that actually allows us to think about things out of the box, allows us to think from different perspectives. That is why, we have so many new ideas and innovations in our Seele white paper. And in fact, we haven't listed all of our ideas yet, but we're probably going to publish something in the form of our yellow paper, which we are preparing it. But we definitely have a lot of new ideas, which we think is a good thing for us.
I know you have two offices, San Francisco and also Shenzhen, right? So how many employees you have so far?
I think I'm not really sure about the business side, but we have quite a few teams worldwide. Not only San Francisco and Singapore, we also have a Shenzhen office, and London office is also establishing. In total, last time I think when I spoke to other team members, I think we have around 40 people worldwide. These include our core developers. Wensi is leading, and also our research team, marketing team, community management team, admin staff. And the office is, like I said, based in San Francisco. That's our headquarters, and our CEO, Dr. Zheng, is there. He's going to make a few public speech, I think, later this month. And yeah.
Okay, it seems this it's a very big team. I think you need to modify your new website to showcase your team members. Yeah.
Yeah, we are hoping to publish the website earliest, tomorrow on the 5th of April, but latest probably will be on the 8th of April, the new website.
Okay.
Which is exciting.
Yeah. So I'm also very excited. Yeah. My next question is about ICO. So I know for the Seele, you guys only raised 30K Ethers for the whole project with so much hype. So actually, you guys can earn much more than that, because based on the current Ether price, it's only $12 million US. So compared with other projects, so I think the cap is pretty low. So why you guys?
In Seele, we are a technology-heavy team, and we always focus on technology. And we are a team, I have to say, we are a team with really humble members. And even in the end, I think it was in the end of January, when we just released our website for less than around 2 weeks' time, we did a survey, and the survey suggested that we possibly we could raise like a million users. Like you said, we can raise much more than 30K. But the decision was made, by all of our team members. We estimated our costs, because we are making a public blockchain. We are not, doing something, to change the whole world. The main cost for us is actually the labor cost, and also the rental fees for the offices, in China, USA, London, these places. These are the main costs. So we estimated, even with the current price, 30K. 30K with the current price probably is a little bit low. We didn't notice, it's the market dropped so much. But at that time, we estimated that 30K is more than enough. It's fine for us to do the development for the public blockchain.
Yeah. So what you are saying is you guys just want to raise enough money to cover the expense of the project to keep the project continue growing, right? So that's
yes.
Okay. So actually, that's very good because for those, as far as I know, a lot of projects are very, very greedy. So yeah, it's very greedy.
Yeah, we don't since the beginning of Zilla, we always keep a very low profile. We didn't really do marketing. We didn't do a lot of hype. Although there's been FUD around, but we didn't realize we got those FUD. But we always want to keep a low profile, just to focus on development of the technologies. And also, that's also exactly true for our fundraising plan. We didn't want to raise so much money, so people think, oh, the purpose of you is not doing technology, you are just trying to raise money. We don't want to give that bad impression to the crowd.
Yeah.
To the public.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. So my next question is about the ICO itself. So as far as I know, Seele's KYC is one of the strictest KYC. Only 5,000 people pass the KYC, and so and for the Chinese citizens, US citizens, they are not allowed to participate because of the regulation issues. So my question is, what do you want to say to those supporters that cannot participate in Seele's ICO? Yeah. So how can they contribute to the whole project?
Yeah, that's a good question. Firstly, I just want to say the Zilla team, Wensi and I, and the whole team are really grateful to the supporters from China and from the US. And but unfortunately, because the laws for the ICO in China and in the USA is kind of different, about ICO. So unfortunately, we had to say no to the citizens from these countries because we respect the laws of the governments, in every single country. And we actually discussed this with our solicitors, our lawyers. We want to make sure that everything is carried out in a proper way, in a legal way. But I think everybody can understand this. We want to do it in the right way. So what I want to say to these people is that if you really like Zilla and you want to support us, please, join our community. We will really welcome you to join our community. No matter you are a technician or you don't know technology, we really welcome you to join the Zilla family, the Zilla technology. And we will be doing, like I said, a few meetups in the US and in Europe very soon. And also feel free to join us and talk to us.
Seele, team, you pitch yourself as blockchain 4.0. That's a very bold statement, especially consider right now those blockchain 3.0 projects haven't been released yet. So why are you guys so confident about this title, blockchain 4.0? What makes you so confident?
What we think is we are for Zilla, right? We are really hoping to kind of point direction of the future blockchain research. We are not because for blockchain 3.0, people are mainly considering about the performance. How fast your TPS and did you invent a new consensus algorithm? Did you use a better encryption method, these kind of things. But in Zilla, like Wensi explained earlier, we think about the future of blockchain development, and we think no matter what blockchain will be in the future, we think the property of the blockchain, will go lower. The property, the nice trust feature that blockchain brings to us will go lower and lower into the infrastructure. So in the future, we will be like the infrastructure, like the internet. That's why Vince mentioned earlier that for the future blockchain, right, like the internet now, the protocols of the internet, like the TCP/IP, UDP, HTTP, are specially designed for the internet. But in the future, we have to develop something for the future blockchain. That's why we optimize these protocols. We develop the QBIC, the VTP, the VHTTP protocols in the lower layer. And these protocols are compatible to the internet, to the old protocols, but also optimized for the blockchain. This is for the future. And also, we think to be an infrastructure for the future, you have to be compatible to the old world technologies. Like we see many companies trying to change the infrastructure, like they want to change their database into MySQL database into a new blockchain. But many companies simply failed because the old technologies simply works fine, and many companies do not want to change. Even they spend millions, they fail to change the old technology. So you have to give the option that people, they can choose what kind of technology they use. They can choose the old world technology. They can use the new blockchain technology. This is why in Seele we say we are unifying all the technology together. We are putting. You can choose your own consensus protocol. You can choose Seele. You can choose US. You can choose Ethereum, but you can connect it to Seele once you want to do collaboration. You can even use the old world MySQL. And also in Seele, we also we also think about what would be the future look like. We think data exchange and computing power exchange is very important. I probably I do not have enough time to say about this because this is a lot of stuff. But that's why we mentioned about the data exchange in our white paper. So really, and also Seele also tackled the problem about blockchain 3.0, about performance, security, these kind of stuff. Consensus protocol. We propose our own consensus protocol. So like I said in the very first question, really to put all these solutions together, that actually gave us Seele. We just didn't invent Seele from nowhere. So we think we want Seele to be a new direction of the blockchain research rather than just solving one little problem. That's why actually the marketing team named us Blockchain 4.0.
That's why there is so much hype on this project. Yeah, I believe. Yeah, so that's a very reasonable explanation. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So my last question is about your roadmap. So what is your priority for this year? So what can we expect? In other words, what is the most exciting things you think will happen in this year?
Vincent, would you like to say something about roadmap?
Okay, the current most you said the most exciting things for us is just the consensus and the neural consensus algorithm. Currently, Beijing team, Shenzhen team, and in San Francisco team are all focused on our new type of neural consensus algorithm. And fortunately, we have made a big progress very recently. And just we will publish the production code to our GitHub. Okay.
Yeah, just to quickly add to Wen's point, we since like you said, Xiduo, we already finished the fund raising yesterday. So of course, technology development, Wen's is leading, is the most important part of Seele. We have to make sure that we keep up with our code submission. We cover all our milestones on time. And besides that, we will be really extending our team because since now we got the money, but really the market is not very good. But we will use the money to extend our team. That's a priority goal in 2018. And we will try to organize our community better because previously we didn't really, we're focusing on the technology, but we have to do the marketing and do the PR. Although we want to keep Seele always low profile. But these kind of things like the meetups and the annual developer conference, we have to do those as well. So these are all the tasks in 2018. But the most exciting stuff to me would be to seeing, our test net, to be released in the second quarter and the main night in the end of the year.
And I'm also very excited about the testnet. Definitely, I will try that because I'm one of the supporters of Seele team. I'm strongly believe that Seele project will be a game changer.
Welcome to China.
I also think this conversation will be very, very helpful for some people because there are a lot of thought here. So thank you guys for attending today's interviews. So so at the end of the interview, what do you want to say to the audience, to the supporters, maybe the potential supporters of Seele? What do you guys do?
Would you like to say something to the supporters?
I just want to say thank all our supporters of the Seele, and we will make up. We will write a lot of code and we just follow the roadmap and speed up my progress and release the testnet and the mainnet as soon as possible and to serve our customer and all the support around the world. Okay, thank you all.
What I want to say is also thank you to all the supporters, especially for the people who joined us in the very beginning. We've been through so many difficult situations. We really want to, the Seele team really appreciates it, especially these people. And Seele is a very ambitious project, and that's actually the reason we are doing it. We are not doing it because it's easy, because it is difficult, because it is an extraordinary project, and we have people like Wenzi, who will really keep up the work, publish the testnet. So we will try our best to move to keep moving forward and to keep improving us. That's one of the goals of the team. And today we build Seele as pioneers. We are hoping that Seele, the name of Seele actually is a German word. It means soul. We are hoping that Seele will be the soul of the technology, and Seele will be the soul for the whole community. It's not just for us. We are the pioneers today. We build it, but Seele tomorrow will be the soul for the community. We are hoping that we open the door today. Tomorrow, Seele will belong to the community. That's what I want to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Then have a nice day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.